You're good.
Okay, we're able to start our meeting now. Welcome, everyone. We'll call this meeting of the Board of County Commissioners for July 28th, 2020 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wozniak.
Here.
Commissioner Gerken.
Here.
Commissioner Byers.
Present.
Thank you. Would everyone please start with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of
America
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We need to approve the previous meeting's minutes. And if my colleagues have no objections to those, they will stand ordered. We have quite a few people in attendance today. I'll have Commissioner Gerken introduce some, but I also just want to make sure that you know Gregory Boyle is here. He's someone who has not been at our previous meetings, and he will address the item later in the agenda with us if needed on 3737 Sylvania Avenue. Thanks for being here. He's our owner's rep. And I believe we're going to go right into item that Commissioner Gerken, you want to take the lead on. You always steadfast, concerned, elected official, citizen, electric rate. And so you want to start with this, please feel free.
Yeah, I'd like to, and thank you for our guests introducing them to join us. As it is tradition of the Lucas County Board of Commissioners, we'd like to make a couple of stands on issues of the day that affect the residents of Lucas County very directly, and so that's for us to do there today. I don't need to spend a lot of recapping what's happening.
Everybody wants to go on mute while somebody is talking. It'll help with the noise background.
Again, I don't want to spend a lot of time recapping what we speak about the indictment of the Speaker of the House, Larry Householder, in connection with Company A, First Energy, and Generations Now, the lobbying firm that around activities of House Bill 6. House Bill 6 was a controversial bill without the other bribery and public distrust that went into it. We knew it was a difficult campaign. I think many of us that were opposed to it for a lot of reasons were very horrified as the campaign was conducted with people being physically challenged in the electoral process of taking signatures, bogus campaigns being run against it, dark money mostly that ran horrifically untrue ads about the Chinese taking over our electric and infrastructure. But at the end of it, people believe that we should protect other people in our community and some jobs. But at the end of the day, we have been, as Board of Commissioners, we're opposed, as is our NOAA partners, our aggregation coalition, opposed to it. But it passed until the light of day was shown on a very dirty process. And that light of day, that light really should shine exclusively on the perpetrators of the fraud. There are people that voted for it, and some people in good conscience. This light of fraud should only be focused on the people that really affected, and I think it is. But as a result of that shining light on a dirty process, House Bill 6, the integrity of it certainly is more than an interesting question. It is proven, I think, to be a bill that should not stand. It was written and passed by the process that it was, which is a complete attack on American democracy. I think the most egregious part was the attacking of the process of the initiative reform, the public initiative to have it go to the public ballot. I mean, that was the most egregious part of hijacking democracy to do that. So today I'm asking the board, and with some help from our state representatives, who this is really in their hands to do it, to ask for a repeal, to demand a repeal of House Bill 6 as it was written and as it was taken into law. And I think we have an opportunity here as a state and a community and as public service to start restoring. We're going to have to work hard to restore the public trust. When this happens just to the speaker or anybody else in our community, it's a reflection on government. So we have to do things immediately to start restoring confidence in it. And I think repeal of House Bill 6 is probably a very quick step to do. We'll let what happens after that, the markets figure it out. But at this point, House Bill 6 got to go. It's tainted. It's beyond saving, and we should start over. And with that, I'm very grateful and very honored. Probably the first time ever, maybe, to have three of our state reps and Mr. Mark Fry, who was the help us found and lead NOAC, our aggregation coalition, the billions of dollars that has saved Northwest Ohio, with us today. And I'm very grateful to our three state reps. Thank you, Paula Hicks Hudson, Mike Sheehan, and Lisa Sebecki, for being here and spending a few minutes talking to the public about this. Because essentially, we can pass this resolution, but the action to this bill is in hand. So thank you for being willing to talk to the board and the county residents about it. And I would any of you want to go first? I'm not going to amongst all of them.
Yeah, maybe Commissioner Byers wants to add to this, and then
Yeah.
I'll be brief, and then we'll go to our state delegation and Mr. Fry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to also welcome each of our guests, and it's even if it's virtual, it's good to be together. And thank you for joining us on this real issue. My comments are brief. This is a bill that was passed upon lies, upon deceit, and every time you tell a lie, it incurs a debt to the truth that the speaker is finally seeing that sooner or later that debt is paid. And it's being paid at this time. This is not good for the state of Ohio. And for what it's worth, it's our resolution I think will pass today that we urge you as representatives in the State House to join in the repeal of this act that is not in the state's best interest. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Good. And I'll just add, the repeal of the House bill would really allow the taxpayers to get a chance to remind themselves how dangerous this bill really is, and that the passing of this is really simply a bailout that's on the backs of each and every citizen with higher electric rates. So we want to do everything we can to get another chance to talk with the citizens of this county. The Board of County Commissioners, I think in April of 19, passed a resolution opposing House Bill 6 because we believed on at least one point for sure is that Ohioans are currently benefiting from the abundance of natural gas that's driving down the cost of electricity supplies in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and elsewhere in the nation. And the highly competitive market would be inhibited by potentially unending subsidies that would be provided to nuclear power generation stations. So if we could revisit this, possibly we can save a lot of money for the taxpayers, especially if you think of what we're dealing with COVID. Everyone is pressed for every dollar they earn. This would be a good time to provide savings to citizens. So thank you. And, Lisa Sebecki, Paula Hicks Hudson, Mr. Sheehy, and Mr. Fry, please give us some words of wisdom.
This is Paula Hicks Hudson, representing Ohio House District 44. And I just want to say thank you for this opportunity for us to not only be a part of hearing your process and asking for not even asking for our help, but giving us even more of a basis for the work that we're trying to do and are doing at the State House. It is unfortunate that we are here today because the process was tainted and it did not work. And I was just, before getting on this call, was just on a call with our leader, and just know that we have been working since last week, and we have our own version of a repeal for House Bill 6, which is a straight repeal, no add-ons to it, no additions to it. It's just, let's repeal and start from the beginning with better insight and more time to look at all of the issues that are part of this situation. As we all know, House Bill 6 did a lot to suppress the other forms of energy that I think we need to have as part of our portfolio in order for the state of Ohio to be competitive throughout the country, if not the world. And so I look forward to getting a copy of your legislation that we can proudly show to members of our caucus that in Lucas County, we are all on the same page about doing the people's work, the people's business, and work that we do is to really move our county forward, but also to move the state forward and make us a leader among so many. And I just want to say thank you to Commissioner Gerken for reaching out to invite me to be a part of this. And with that, I'm going to go on mute. But just know that we hear you and that we have our own bill that we are introducing. All members of our caucus, I believe, have signed on to it. And we're going to push very hard to ensure that we do it right this second time around. And with that, I'm going on mute. Thank you.
Commissioner Wozniak and Commissioner Gerken and Commissioner Byers, also Lisa Sebecki, Representative 45th House District. I want to thank Commissioner Gerken for reaching out and inviting us to come today to be a part of your process, and echoing my colleague, Representative Polly Hicks Hudson. I have, as she said, all of the House Democrats have signed on to our repeal legislation. As she said, it's a straight repeal, and look forward that we actually have a clean process going forth. It's unfortunate that our state is having to endure this at the same time that we are also enduring the pandemic that's affected not only Lucas County, the state of Ohio, but the world. And so I look forward to that clean process going forward, and look forward to be for a speedy process. But again, just want to thank you for the opportunity today to be a part of this conversation, and looking forward to your legislation coming, your resolution coming forth to us. Thank you.
Mr. Sheehy?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm grateful for the opportunity to address the county commissioners. I think the first time I've been graced with an invitation to do so. And unfortunately, it's under these less than happy conditions. I have over time advocated for a diverse portfolio. There's no fossil fuel that is ideal. Clearly, one of the benefits that we've seen here in Northwestern Ohio as we look around is no coal burning facilities. And to that extent, the air quality is actually improved. I continue to be an advocate for a diverse portfolio with the ultimate hope of someday being purely renewables, but that would be sometime in the future. I am appalled and disgusted at the process under which this bill was able to prevail. And I look forward to how the wheels of justice grind on and grind fine, and bring us to a place where all of us can restore confidence, trust in state government. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fryer, would you provide us some information, sir?
Sure. Thank you very much, commissioners and representatives. Thank you for the invitation today. As Commissioner Gerken mentioned, the NOAC communities came out against the passage of HB 6, and Representative Sheehy, I think, said it well. The process as it is, regardless of whether you're for the subsidy of the nuclear plants or against it, presuming that the HB 6 is repealed for a moment, what I would ask you all to keep in mind and keep an eye on is that the utilities aren't going to stop trying to include things in the next bill. When that occurs, there were other provisions other than just the nuclear piece of it that were included in HB 6, ongoing rate decoupling, which guaranteed revenue streams for public utilities and such, which were perhaps over the long term even more detrimental to the long-term economic interests of residential customers. So there's other things that they're going to try to include regardless of what's happened here, assuming repeal. So just keep that in mind. Look at the details of it, regardless of whether you agree with a subsidy or not. And the last piece is just also keep in mind that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission has passed some changes in the way they're approaching such subsidies that impact the PJM footprint, and whether or not the subsidies would actually help or not for the generating facilities based upon some changes that have happened since the passage of HB 6. So regardless of your position on the subsidy or not, just keep that in the back of your mind. And as many of you, if not all of you, have heard me say before, the devil's in the details. And as the representatives, and you know better than I that sometimes those legislative things, there's things in there that are gotchas at the end that you're not really sure what the impact is. Just keep those things in mind, because there were some things in there beyond the subsidies, for the coal-fired plants and OVEC and other things that were problematic for myself and I'm sure for others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fry. I appreciate all your work since we started NOAC. Almost 20 years, I think, and you were there at the beginning. You make a great point, and I would ask our state representatives to be mindful of what he just said, and I would like to kind of push it even a little further, is that any bill that comes after the repeal, thank you for the clean repeal commitments, that's wonderful, exactly what we need. But any bill that includes any hands-on participation by First Energy should be disqualified. Company A, First Energy, because of their wretched work in this, should be automatically disqualified from receiving any benefits of any proposed legislation to do it. I think that would just be wrong. And Mark is right. Be very careful. They have, as my wife, the psychologist, tells me, behavior is constant. They got caught on this one, but do not put your guard down. Some of these players will find a way to inject themselves in whatever you do next with the best intentions. So please keep in mind, at least from this commissioner's perspective, that any touching of this next bill by First Energy should be a poisonous touch. And I have one question now, I guess, for the legislators. Are you guys going back to session to do anything about this, or on September?
If this is Paula Hicks Hudson, at this point, we are not sure. We're waiting for the majority caucus to do their, I'm gonna use the word kindly, gyrations for how they're going to deal with the leadership, situation that they have there, as well as full disclosure, the Republicans did introduce their bill to repeal, but the reason that we as Democrats are not, some of us signed on and some of us then decided not to continue as co-sponsors of the Republican bill, is because we were hearing information that they were not going to do just a straight repeal, but try to maintain some of these issues that were in the current House Bill 6. And it's our caucus position that we need to be deliberate, as you said earlier, look at this from a different perspective so that we can, build trust, handle not only the current energy needs, but future energy needs, balance that with, the challenges that the two communities are going to have if there's a change in the use of nuclear power and things like that. So this is a very complicated situation, and we felt in our caucus that we needed to take a step back and be able to look at this from a real holistic approach. Long answer, we are probably going to be back before the end of the summer to handle, a couple of issues that I just raised, and then move forward. So that's kind of where we are right now. And again, appreciate all the work that you have done, at the commissioners, and what Mark has done to keep us really on the cutting edge of what it means for us to have really the best energy policies that we can in our region. And with that, I'm going to go back on mute.
Commissioner Gerken, would you like to entertain a motion at this time?
I would make a motion to approve the resolution as written.
We have a motion by Commissioner Gerken. Call the roll, please.
Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers,
Yes.
Commissioner Wozniak.
Yes. Before the state delegation leaves, I just want to share a little bit about the COVID dollars information so that we stay connected. I wish all members of the delegation were here, but I really appreciate you being here. But we had a chance from the Metro County Commissioners excuse me. We had an opportunity from the to talk to Senator Portman, and he said he kept insinuating that he understood that we need flexibility on the COVID dollars. We need the date changed on the COVID dollars, and that he recognized that we need additional dollars from the federal government to help us with our shortfall. That currently we have lost 5 months of sales tax to the tune of 11 million. We basically anticipate that to double to 22 to 25 million at least. With that said, he kept referring to the state legislature to if they passed the $350 million that went to the state, that Lucas County would receive $19 million. Right now, we only are aware of $5.5 million. So as you are getting some time with your colleagues, if that 350 just stays unavailable, should we be able to have flexibility and a date changed? And, that would really, really make a difference. 5.5 million is not even a drop in a bucket to the $225 million loss. And we explained to them, it's not just what the needs of city and or police and fire, it's sheriff's departments, EMS, and courts. So we're trying to make sure that we share the information with you, that we share with them, but if there's really 350 million available, if that doesn't get into the state legislature for passage, we're going to be in a world of hurt. Remember, we are the 6th largest county in the state. We did not receive direct funding like Cleveland and Dayton and Columbus and Cincinnati and everybody else received. So our county, 80,000 people short of receiving those dollars. And that's a tragedy that they did that cutoff. And so we need direct funding. But if the state's holding on to 350 million, we can change the world of hurt a bit. And so we need you to be aware of that. And he's wondering why that hasn't happened too. Fair enough. So I'm just sharing with you what we learned yesterday. I don't know if my colleagues want to add to that, but this is our chance to communicate with some of our members of our state delegation.
Echo that. We heard very clearly, reps, that it was going to be hard for Senator Portman to really bring extra dollars when the state hasn't let us draw down the remaining of House Bill 310. That's as simple as we can put it. The rest of the money needs to flow where it was intended. You can help us with that. I'm sure you will. You understand. You're all local people. The former mayor here, she understands it as well as everybody else. So we have to function. We need your help. We know you're on our side. Just keep ringing that bell for us. It'd be great.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think you both said it well. It's, we provide the nuts and bolts for people in our community to, the safety nets, the law enforcement, the courts, the social services, and we need the funds to operate. And we take every day to act responsibly. And I trust that we have acted responsibly and will continue to do so, but we simply need more funds.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to us. And we know you have our backs. We just hope all right.
Thank
I
you
guess we'll move on to our agenda. Thank you again. And Commissioner Gerken, great job in bringing our delegation in to our meeting today. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you for the opportunity. Take care.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody. Ms. Terry, I'm leaving it up to you now.
Okay, item number 2, Commissioners, is a resolution submitting to the electors of the county the question of the renewal of the existing 1.8 mil tax levy for the purpose of the support of children's services and the care and placement of children pursuant to sections 570524 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Okay, any questions? Now I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion in favor.
Okay, there's a motion by Commissioner Byers. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Byers,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Wozniak.
Yeah,
Item 3 is a resolution seeking authorization of an allocation to the Lucas County Economic Development Corporation, better known as LCEDC, for the purpose of a parcel of real property at 3737 West Sylvania Avenue to establish a shared service campus and location for the Lucas County Board of Elections operation and early vote center.
we had a very good, we have a very good opportunity. We're really, really excited about this. And in fact, if Representative Sebeki was on, she would have enjoyed this too. We could have shared this with her today, but we have an opportunity to finally have a shared campus. We have buildings where we separate individuals from receiving services they need. We have, Jobs and Family Services located in one building. We have child support in another. We have elections in another, and we're maintaining a lot of buildings that are getting old. And we have our workforce development in another area. We recognize that citizens that need one service more often than not need the additional service of the other agencies. So we are getting an opportunity to put a shared campus in a building that makes sense, in a building that can house everyone. And clients, once and for all, can go to a one-stop shop. So I support this here today. I thank everybody for their very hard work in getting us to this place today to be able to, instead of having workers fear the building that they're in, and instead of having citizens go to a building that they don't feel welcome in, we can have, it can be a new day in Lucas County. And I'm very excited about getting to this point. Gary and Pete, would you like to weigh in now?
Yeah, one thing I would say that even though the Board of Elections will be included in this process, right now they have 3 locations. They have a location that they share, that they store their voting machines. They have a location for early vote, and then they have a location for the administration. And it's been the recommendation of the Secretary of State that be combined into one location. That won't happen until after this election, obviously, to try to accomplish a move before a national election is something that would be impossible. This would come after this election occurs in November. And just as a point of clarification, but this should also help the Board of Elections fulfill the obligations and recommendations of the Secretary of State to have all of their facilities on one campus. And it makes sense that even though we're spending money on this building, that we will also, if we kept the buildings that the Jobs and Family Services, for instance, and that was going to be a huge investment in order to maintain that building. So this seems smart for the community, and I think it will be something that will be of benefit to all.
Thank you. I think we've worked a long time to try to find the right building, and it's taken us a few years, but the circumstances turned out that we think we had the right building in the right place for the right thing. I would call this new building our Swiss Army knife of social service. It's a 6-in-1. As Gary said, we're going to take 3 Board of Election functions, move them into one place, and 3 other county functions, the child support, work, Ohio Means Jobs, and JFS. So we are the Swiss Army knife building that will combine services and really make it easier both with staff. It's finally going to work. I think public employees deserve a nice place to work. They do really hard work. This is an opportunity to do it, and our clients need a place to go, and it will interrupt the day of the life that a client used to have, where you'd have to go to one place on Monroe, another place on Monroe, and then another place on Adams downtown to receive services. Go to one place. Let's just take care of people moving out of poverty into stable lives. This is to do it. And guess what? By next year, democracy will be made a whole lot more easy and accessible. So appreciate the work of the staff, Megan, and your team to thread the needle on some complicated legal and property requirements. Did a great job. But the day is here, and it's a savings to the community and a really good opportunity.
Good. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Gerken. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers,
Yes.
Commissioner Wozniak.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, commissioners. Item number 4 is a resolution seeking permission to, let me just make sure I'm off mute. Okay. Seeking permission to negotiate a lease agreement with Toledo Volleyball Club, Inc. for the use of Recreation Hall number 1 and related premises at the Lucas County Recreation Center. Ms. Ford, would you like to speak to this item? And Commissioner Wozniak?
Yeah, I almost don't want to steal the thunder of Ms. Ford, who's worked so hard on this. So I'll give her a first bite at the apple, but she knows I'm excited about it.
Yes, good morning, commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to work on this project. As we all know, Toledo Volleyball Club has been a critical partner of ours at the property since 2007. And last year, when we needed them to step up and help us take on more responsibility with managing Rec Hall 2, they did and have done a very successful job, even in the middle of a pandemic that we're experiencing right now. So we're looking forward to negotiating hopefully a 2-year lease with them so they can continue their operations and continue to help us be successful at that property.
Well, we're really excited about it because they've been such a terrific partner. They bring a lot of stability to the site, along with many other partners that have been using the facility for years. International Handball, the Little Midget Racing Cars, the users of Rec Hall 2, softball, baseball, Mamba, which is the men's ball league, senior men's league, which is just been a great user and caregiver of the grass and the field. So to have the stability really means a lot, and it's taken us a lot to get here. So I'm very pleased. Any other comments? If not, we can make a motion.
Yeah.
Seeing none, I'll make that motion. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wozniak,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers.
Yes.
Okay. Next items for your consideration are from the Sheriff's Office. This is number 5 is a resolution seeking permission to exercise the first of 4 renewal options with Tricia Yates to provide certified nurse practitioner services. This is estimated not to exceed an annual expense for this contract of $65,000. Number 6 is a resolution seeking permission to apply for fiscal year 2020 Justice Assistance Grant funding through the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. This grant totals $248,695,000, of which the Sheriff's Office will receive, will have to put up $52,225. I want to make sure that I am reading that correctly. Ms. Decker or Mr. Avard, is that accurate? The Sheriff's Office gets that money, or do they have to put that money up?
I do apologize. I've not been sent the resolution, so I was not even aware.
I think I misread it. It's they're receiving the $52,000 out of the $248,000. So that's a good bit of money for the sheriff.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion on the sheriff's items.
I'll make that motion for approval.
Motion by Commissioner Byers. Call the roll.
Commissioner Byers,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Wozniak.
Yes.
Number 7 is a resolution from the Board of Elections seeking an acceptance of the Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose block grant, $40,000 for security and accessibility per Directive 2020-12. Each county
Board of Elections will receive this grant to support continued compliance with security standards and additional improvements to cybersecurity, physical security, and voter accessibility.
Questions or motion?
I'll
Motion
make
to,
that.
I'll make a motion by Commissioner Byers, call the roll.
Commissioner Byers,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerken,
yes.
Commissioner Wozniak,
Yes.
Number 8 is from the Court of Common Pleas. This resolution seeks permission to apply for a State Justice Institute Court Pandemic Response and Recovery Grant. This will allow the General Division to apply for a grant in the amount of $50,000, and it funds projects that focus on institutionalizing and or replicating practices that were implemented during the pandemic.
I'll make that motion, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wozniak,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers,
Yes.
Numbers 9 through 16 are from the sanitary engineer. Number 9 is the acceptance of a sanitary sewer number 928 at Hare Road in Sylvania Township. Maintenance bond has been received, and the engineer recommends passing this resolution. 10 is a resolution seeking approval of a private agreement for sanitary sewer number 918 on Elkin Road in Springfield Township. Number 11 is a resolution declaring the official intent and reasonable expectation of the Board of County Commissioners, Lucas County, Ohio, on behalf of the state of Ohio to reimburse its sewer expenses for S500 Wolf Creek Siphon Rehab Project, which is OPWC project number CL20X, with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt of the state of Ohio. Number 12 is a resolution seeking a declaration of the official intent and reasonable expectation of the Board of County Commissioners, Lucas County, Ohio, on behalf of the state of Ohio to reimburse its sewer expenses for S500 MH4-MH6 sanitary sewer cleaning and repair project, OPWC project number CL15W, with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt of the state of Ohio.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve.
I have a few more commissioners.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're on pause.
Sorry, they're very technical, and
They are. I'm sorry.
we're almost done, I promise, on these. Resolution number 13 seeks to declare the official intent and reasonable expectation of the Board of County Commissioners, Lucas County, Ohio, on behalf of the state of Ohio to reimburse its sewer expenses for S17-R, Fallen Timbers Pump Station Rehabilitation Project, OPWC project number CL32X, with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt from the state of Ohio. Number 14 is a resolution declaring the official intent and reasonable expectation of the Board of County Commissioners, Lucas County, Ohio, on behalf of the state of Ohio to reimburse its expenses for W-906-R Washington Township Water Main Replacement Project, OPWC project number CL24X, with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt of the state of Ohio. Number 15 is a resolution seeking permission to advertise for the construction of sanitary sewer number 715-R, Fallen Timbers Pump Station Rehabilitation in Monclova Township. And finally, the last resolution, number 16, from the sanitary engineer, seeks permission to proceed with the construction of the water supply line number 906-R, Suter Avenue water main replacement in Washington Township.
Okay. Is there a motion? I believe so, on the floor.
So moved again.
Yep, well, I have a motion by Commissioner Gerken. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers,
Yes.
Commissioner Wozniak,
Yeah.
Okay, number 17 is from the Department of Planning and Development. This resolution seeks permission to amend the contract with Network, a division of ZEF, to provide one-stop management and universal career services at Ohio Means Jobs, Lucas County, and exercise the final renewal option from July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021.
And we'll see new RFPs going out next year. We'll have the chance to review those, as will the Workforce Development Board. I'll make the motion on that item.
Commissioner Wozniak,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers.
Yes.
Number 18 is from Purchasing Support Services. This resolution seeks permission to enter into an agreement with Planet Bids, Inc. for a vendor and bid management system. This is not to exceed, let's see here, the 2020 amount of $9,686 and the 2021 amount of $13,173. This bid system has been really excellent for us, and we're very pleased to bring it to the board for consideration and vote.
Okay. Is there a motion on this item? I'll make that motion. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wozniak,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers.
Numbers 19 and 20 are from Management and Budget. Mr.
Thanks.
Rivard, you're
Yep,
here.
thanks and good morning. Number 19 is disbursement of the first half 2020 funds to shelters for victims of domestic violence. The amount is $30,465, and it is split between two entities. One is Young Women's Christian Association, and the other is Bethany House at 48% and 52% respectively. Number 20 is the transfers of appropriation, and this is a semi-annual resolution we present for the transfer appropriation done for the months of January through June 2020.
Any questions? Not, I will make that motion. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wozniak,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers.
Yes.
And finally, number 21 is from Human Resources. Mr. Cunningham.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. At this time, I ask that you enter executive session to consider personnel matters related to employment, including job audit findings, related reclassifications, and changes to the table of organization.
Other items, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, Commissioners, we'd also like to add collective bargaining matters. Mr. Cunningham, I don't think you mentioned that. Purchase or sale of property. And I think that's
Okay, I'll make that motion that we enter executive session for those stated purposes. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wozniak,
Yes.
Gerken,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers.
Yes.
Okay, see everyone in a few minutes. Thank you.